The politics of Rwanda reflect Belgian and German civil law systems, and customary law takes place in a framework of a semi-presidential republic, whereby the president of Rwanda is the head of state with significant executive power, with the Prime Minister of Rwanda being the constitutional head of government. Legislative power is vested in both the government and the two chambers of parliament, the Senate and the Chamber of Deputies. On 5 May 1995, the Transitional National Assembly adopted a new constitution which included elements of the Constitution of 18 June 1991 as well as provisions of the 1993 Arusha Peace Accord and the November 1994 Multi-Party Protocol of Understanding. The Chamber of Deputies is composed of 80 deputies women elected by specific electoral colleges, in accordance with the national administrative entities, 2 deputies elected by the National Youth Council, 1 deputy elected by the National Council of Persons with Disabilities. Senate is composed of 26 members appointed by the President of the Republic. 4 senators elected among lecturers and researchers of private universities and higher learning institutions. After its military victory in July 1994, the Rwandese Patriotic Front organized a coalition government similar to that established by President Juvenal Habyarimana in 1992, called the Broad-Based Government of National Unity. Its fundamental law is based on a combination of the Constitution, the Arusha Accords, and political declarations by the parties. The MRND party was outlawed. Political organizing was banned until 2003. The first post-war presidential and legislative elections were held in August and September 2003, respectively. The biggest problems facing the government were the reintegration of more than 2 million refugees returning from as long ago as 1959, the end of the insurgency and counter-insurgency among ex-military and Interahamwe militia and the Rwandan Patriotic Army, which is concentrated in the north and southwest, and the shift away from crisis to medium and long-term development planning. The prison population will continue to be an urgent problem for the foreseeable future, having swelled to more than 100,000 in the 3 years after the war. Trying this, many suspects of genocide will tax Rwanda's resources sorely. The current government prohibits any form of discrimination by gender, ethnicity, race or religion. The government has also passed laws prohibiting emphasis on Hutu or Tutsi identity in most types of political activity. The political focus over the years in Rwanda has made a shift towards economic improvement. They are centralizing their foreign exchange around coffee and tea production, helping to reduce poverty and inequality. The World Bank praises their efforts. Rwanda is still considered a low-income country with $7.890 billion GDP, based on US dollars, with a total population of 11.34 million people in 2014. The political headcount ratio on national poverty lines decreased by more than 10% from 2005 to 2010, and their life expectancy of about 64 years is higher than that of similar sub-Sahara African countries as well as other low-income countries. Rwanda's CO2 emissions in 2011 totaled 0.1 metric tons per capita, which was much lower than similar sub-Sahara African countries as well as other low-income countries. Their school enrollment rate is much higher than similar sub-Sahara African countries as well as other low-income countries. Kagame has reached out to the large companies, such as Costco and Starbucks, who are now the 2 largest buyers of Rwandan coffee beans. The president of Rwanda is elected for a 7-year term by the people. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are appointed by the President. The President has numerous powers that include creating policy in conjunction with the Cabinet, signing presidential orders, put into effect the prerogative of mercy, negotiating and parsing treaties, commanding the armed forces, and declaring war or a state of crisis. The current president of Rwanda is Paul Kagame. Born in 1957, he is the 6th president of Rwanda and was elected in 2003. In 2007, the former president, Pastor Bizimungu, was released from prison on a presidential pardon. Kagame was re-elected in 2010, receiving 93.1% of the votes cast since taking office. Kagame has raised business reduced crime and corruption, and has attracted the likes of many foreign investors. Kagame has not groomed anyone to be his successor, so there is nothing that points to who his successor could or should be. President Paul Kagame and his Rwandan Patriotic Front are the dominant political forces in Rwanda. There is only one registered opposition party and many political opponents have fled into exile. President Kagame received military training in Uganda, Tanzania and the United States. He was a founding member of current Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni's rebel army in 1979 and headed its ent.